Gonna say hello to the people, man. Loki had his turn yesterday. Now it's your turn today. Yeah, man. Go, buddy, man. Gonna say hello to all the people there, man. You want me to sing to you? No, don't leave. I need to sing to you, child. Okay, I get it. Hello there, internet dwellers. Welcome back to another video. Today we are doing some animated horrors because I used to do this back in the day. I even used to do it with Ryan when we did 8-bit gaming. We used to react to animated horrors. It was all fun and games, and I thought we could do that now. I found this channel called IMR Scary Tales, and there's a video called 3 True Dark Web Stories Animated. Now, hopefully you don't mind me reacting to the content. If you do, I'll be sure to take it down. I won't do it. You know, I respect people's choice to not have people react to their content. That's understandable. So guys, be sure to go subscribe to IMR Scary Tales. This looks really, really good. And we're going to just jump straight into this. Here we go. I don't know if captions are needed.
Whenever I recall the memory of that night, I get choked on fear.
Flipping straight into it, man. Damn. Whenever
I recall the memory of that night, I get choked on fear. It was the end of December and the snowfall had been pretty heavy.
Yeah.
I was sitting in my room, playing games on my computer.
Squid Games.
My parents were both out. Having the house to myself, I decided to try something spooky.
Oh dear.
I'd recently heard about the dark web from my friends.
Kids, if you're watching, you shouldn't be watching my channel. You probably should get your parents in here. Parents, these guys shouldn't be watching my content, okay? This is mature content only. Right? Don't let this little person here watch my content. Don't use the dark web. Don't even try and access it. It's not fun. I haven't accessed it myself. Basically like 90% of the dark web or deep web, whatever, is just like empty websites, or like people will sometimes use it as a practice run for their website, like upgrades and stuff. The whole like red room and stuff like that, I'm not sure if they're real. They probably are somewhere, but in order to get there, you've got to know people, I'm assuming. If you know those people, you're already probably a bad person, so, you know.
My best friend Noah said it's a creepy
Jesus Christ.
place. He even mentioned a cannibal forum where interested human meat eaters chat about their insane fantasies.
Okay.
I logged into the Tor browser that helps you to access the deep web.
Yep.
I found some hidden and hiring pages,
Wow.
a few creepy torture videos, and then finally an explicit site where the
By the way, those hitman websites and stuff usually are just like FBI websites, like to lure people in, I guess, to hire so they can arrest them.
Content was gruesome and sickly. I was about to go watch a scary movie, not finding anything scary enough, when suddenly a link popped up saying, "Not for the faint-hearted. Click if you dare."
Alright, on a normal day, you just wouldn't click a pop-up. Why would you click a pop-up on the dark web? That is just stupid behavior.
Live. Without thinking, I clicked.
Good lord.
I still regret that decision.
Okay.
A dark screen flashed. The word live blinked in the top left corner. For a second, the darkness stayed, and then a white spotlight lit up,
Oh my
flashing
God.
a woman.
Why are people from the dark web and these like web shows always filthy, dirty? Don't people pay like top dollar for stuff like this? Or do people just like watching dirty people do weird stuff?
Of a kitchen.
Look at that cockroach.
Her hair was put down on the front, hiding her face. She wore a dirty white patient uniform with mud stains. The kitchen was filthy as hell. Piles of dishes were stacked in the sink. Cobwebs hanging everywhere.
The music's getting louder.
Cockroaches walking all over the walls. What caught my attention most was the old stroller she was holding on to.
Oh, that's a stroller.
One of those Rosemary's Baby
I thought that was a funeral casket.
types, only dustier and more unclean. Suddenly, a baby's cry took place. I realized it was coming from the stroller. I couldn't see the baby, but its cry was very hoarse.
Ugh.
What the hell is all this?
Leave at that point. Go.
I murmured to myself.
Mind your
When
own business.
A creepy lullaby began to play in the room. I couldn't tell if it was coming from a music box or some other sound device. The woman started to rock the cradle slowly with the music. It felt so creepy to watch. Her black long hair made it impossible to see her face, yet at the same time, I felt she was looking at me. She then started to talk to the baby.
Okay.
Calm down, little angel.
I don't know what's wrong with this. This is just a woman who obviously, you know, it's not on high on the in the economy, you know, in the class list, I guess. This is basically poverty right here. You're just looking after a child is all, you know. Bet you any money the baby, right, has fresh new clothes. This woman, you know what, I'm making a story about this woman. She loves this baby. She went out to all these places. She got her toys. She got the, you know, nice clothes for the baby. She has nice product for the baby, you know, like baby formula. She really loves this baby, guys.
Stop crying.
I was flabbergasted by the sight. The more she talked, the baby's cry got louder.
No, 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 no. Stop crying. If you don't, I will have to punish you.
What? What the F is she saying?
What the F is
Her
she
grip
saying,
on
man?
The candle got stronger, and she started rocking it a little too fast. But the baby still kept crying.
So, you won't stop, huh?
She really loves the
Looks
baby.
like you've made up your mind.
She stopped
To get
rocking
cuddles.
and let go of the stroller. She then turned to her right and picked up something from the floor.
A
Once
toy.
her hands hit the light, I saw what it was.
Chewy
Now
gum
holding
bears.
a glass jar with a metal lid on it. The contents of the jar seemed to be moving. Drops of sweat appeared on my forehead once I figured out what the hell was in that jar. Hundreds of red, big fire ants crawling inside the jar.
Right.
Bloody hell.
There's a slight suspicion here now, guys, that I was wrong about what I said. This woman does not love her baby. I don't even think that's her baby now that I think about it, guys.
This woman insane? The woman suddenly parted her hair,
Oh, good lord.
revealing her partial face. The camera zoomed onto her face.
She got
and gave me
leprosy.
Nightmares. She had big green eyes bulging out of the eye socket, and her skin was infectious. I'm sure it wasn't makeup because it looked real.
Yeah.
Scratches and
That's the point in makeup, though, to make something look real.
pus-filled wounds were all over her cheeks. Her face was scratched with nails badly. She smiled and put her finger on her lips.
Shh. Time to put the baby to sleep.
I don't think that's going to put the baby to sleep. The baby's... Okay.
The cry of the baby was almost dying down when she opened the lid of the jar, put her hand in it, and grabbed a handful of fire ants.
I thought she was just going to tip it on the
The
baby.
ants were probably biting her too, but she didn't even flinch, not for a single second. And then I watched the horror happen. She started dropping those ants inside the cradle. The cry got louder with each ant. I was feeling traumatized. I wanted to quit life, but my fingers were
Quit
frozen
life?
to the keyboard. Is
She wanted to quit
this
life.
happening to live?
Oh no! You just got louder.
She screamed like she didn't expect that to happen. Everything about her behavior was so psychotic. She smashed the jar on the floor. The sound of breaking glass numbers my ears.
Wow,
Again,
okay.
She turned to her right and picked something up from
Oh,
the dark
God,
corner.
she's not done.
This time, she had a blowtorch in
Maybe she's trying to warm up the baby.
her hand. Holy Mother of God! Is she going to set the stroller on fire? Before I could contemplate it,
Bro, okay.
she torched the stroller. A cloud of smoke, rising flames of fire, gobbled the stroller immediately. The cry grew the loudest, and then slowly began to die down.
Oh, Jesus.
The woman laughed.
Sleep, little angel. Sleep in peace.
I couldn't watch it anymore.
Wow. But, mate, I would have just... What?
Left the site, but then a few glitches appeared on the screen and
Oh,
took me to
God.
another page.
Oh,
It
no.
was a chat box, and I saw someone labeled as the mother typing. A text appeared on the screen.
Someone is knocking on your door. Why don't you open it?
Okay, sure. Hang on. There's no one at my door.
A cold shiver rushed down my spine. With trembling hands, I typed back, "Is this a joke?" No reply came. I waited in silence. My heart was racing.
Look at that guy's like jowls.
Suddenly, loud banging appeared on the main door. The banging soon changed.
I refuse to believe that they would get there that fast. What, is this person living next door? Where does this kid live? For them to be living next to this mum, burning her children.
And then the crazy press of our doorbell. I screamed, "Leave me alone or I'm calling 911!"
It was just his parents.
Plugged off my computer. It finally turned off, and just then, the banging stopped too.
Oh, okay. So it was like a phantom ghost. It was like a glitch computer ghost.
I could barely breathe. It felt like I was having a heart attack.
Yeah.
10 minutes later, when I finally got my courage back, I slowly walked to the entrance. I peeked outside from the eye hole and only saw the deserted street and dimly lit lamppost. I slowly opened the door.
Oh, please don't make... What? It better not be what I think it's going to be.
Someone left a cardboard box on my porch. I opened it and screamed. Ah! There was a mutilated doll of a baby. Ants were crawling on it, and its burnt face made me jump.
Oh, so it wasn't a real baby?
I threw the box outright and locked the door. The whole night, I remained awake until my parents got home. I couldn't tell them about this incident because I knew they won't believe me. I still remember the note I found inside that box.
Next time it won't be a doll.
Next time, it won't be a doll.
Hey guys, I hope...
Right, so she's threatening to send a freaking mutilated baby to his
you're enjoying
house.
the video. If so, please leave a like.
I
And
will.
also, a small percentage of people that watch my videos are actually subscribed. If you want to support this channel and make this channel reach the 1 million mark, please consider subscribing.
I did it,
free,
man.
And you can change your mind later.
Same goes for you guys, right? You can subscribe to my channel.
I plopped down to my knees, my
It's me.
face covered in mud. Ha! Loser! I looked up just in time to see a football sailing through
What the hell is Nigel Thornberry doing
the
here?
air, headed right for my face. It
Elijah!
connected with a sickening thud, and I fell backward, stars glittering in my vision. "Hey, dweeb!" I groaned as someone hauled me to my feet. It was Joey, the school bully.
Joey,
His
of course it
friends
was.
laughed as he shoved me hard, sending me sprawling back into the mud. "Why don't you just go crawl back under your rock and die? You're such a freak. No wonder nobody likes you." They kept laughing and jeering as they walked away, leaving me alone and
That's such a strange looking guy.
crying in the mud. I'd had enough. Enough of the bullies, the
I love how there's just a random pit here full of mud.
taunting, the feelings like I was worthless. I stood up, wiped the mud off
This guy looks like
my
Tintin.
face, and walked home. I went straight to my room and cried myself to sleep. I was so tired of all of it, of feeling like
Oh, he's going to try and hire a hitman to take out the bully,
I had
right?
no control over my life. Waking up, I rubbed my eyes as I scrolled through social media. I was sick of it. I was done. I kept browsing the internet, drifting more and more towards the shady side of things. Forums that discussed how to get revenge on your bullies. You know the deal. That's when I saw it. A forum post that detailed how to gain access to the dark web. I
Deep
was
web,
curious, so I clicked the link. It took me to a website with a list of links. I clicked on the first link that caught my interest. Hit
Couple for hire? What does that mean?
man for hire. I was skeptical, but
Free packages? Oh god. Listen, if the product is free, you are the service or the shut
I
up.
kept reading. The website claimed that they could remove any problematic people in your life.
What's the
for a
premium
price.
package?
I thought about my bullies and how good it would feel to see them gone. Besides, one of the packages on the website was free. Problem removal?
That's
What
not
does it mean? No further orders applicable? Shrugging, I hit the order button, followed the instructions, and submitted the names and locations of my bullies.
Oh my
I
god.
added anyone and everyone I could think of, even Miss Harlington.
Why?
Who had kept me late after school one time to berate me for my low grades. Finally,
Maybe you should start studying. She's just doing her job, dude.
it had a field for my name and address. I hesitated for only a moment before putting in my information.
Oh,
What did
God.
I have to lose? After pushing submit, however, something strange happened. The text hit list appeared at the top of my page with a list of every person I had submitted. The weird part was that my name was at the bottom,
And it said
listed
payment?
as a payment for the job.
Oh, God.
At that moment, though, my mother called me to dinner, and I didn't have time to think about it. Admittedly,
Nice.
I quickly forgot about the website and went on with my life. Days passed, then weeks. I almost forgot about it until one day I noticed something weird. Joey usually waited for me by the school gates to bully me, but
Brilliant.
today he was nowhere to be seen. In fact, I didn't see Joey or any of
Here's my advice, guys. And not a lot of people are going to agree with this. But if you're getting bullied, physically bullied, emotionally bullied, smack them as hard as you can in the face, okay? Because if you don't stand up for yourself, these teachers, you can go to the teachers, they won't do anything, all right? Because these bullies don't give a shit. They'll take you after school and they'll make it even worse. Stand up for yourself, right? Punch them as hard as you can in the face and show them that you're not to be messed with. Because even then, like, worst comes to the worst, if they carry on, you just keep... Well, they won't carry on. That's the thing. They won't carry on. You just beat them up, right? Or just one smack across the face. That's all right. You'll probably get, suspended if you're in school for a couple of days. But there we go. Bullies will leave you alone. Better that than to be bullied throughout the whole of your school experience and to be left with trauma in your adult life. Stick up for yourself and punch a bully today. Advice with Baz.
of his friends for the rest of the day. It was like they had vanished into thin air. I wondered if they were sick or something, but I didn't see them in the halls or in class. It was like they had just disappeared. A chill ran down my spine as I remembered the website. Surely it couldn't be real.
Nah.
Could it? I dismissed the thought and tried to forget
Why the hell would you put your own name and address into this
about
dark
it,
web
but I
website?
couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong.
Mm.
It was only when I entered the class that I found out what was wrong. My teacher stood at her desk, her hair disheveled and her makeup smeared.
Uh-oh.
She looked like she'd been crying.
Right.
Class, I have some bad news. It appears that Joey, Sarah, and John have passed away.
I could feel the blood drain from my face as she spoke.
Damn.
They were dead? But how? It couldn't have been the website.
No, it couldn't have. No, not the people that you put into the website.
Could it have? And I froze as I looked up at Miss Harlington's disheveled face. She was still alive, wasn't she?
Yeah.
That meant it wasn't the website. I sighed with relief and opened my book,
Okay.
thinking that the world had done me a good deed for once. But as I began to read, I heard a sudden gasp and a gurgle. Miss Harlington had frozen in place, her hand still holding a glass of coffee which slowly spilled over the desk and dripped
She'd been
onto the floor.
poisoned.
The glass shattered as it hit the
Ah.
ground, and I realized with a start that her eyes were wide open and staring straight ahead. Dead.
She was dead?
Screaming, I ran from the classroom, my mind racing. It couldn't be the
Run,
website.
Tintin.
It just couldn't be. As I hurried home, however, I suddenly became acutely aware of a vehicle behind me.
Yeah, you're
It
gonna
had
get
been there
kidnapped.
for several minutes and seemed to be following me.
Mm.
I quickened my pace, but the car sped up as well. I began to run, but it was of no use. It finally pulled several yards in front of me.
Let's be... This says true dark web stories. If this is true, this man just admitted to putting a hit out on his classmates and teacher. Think about that.
Stopped. The man who got out of the car was horrifying. There's no other way to
William
put
Afton.
it. He had black hair that stuck out at odd angles like straws and wore a top hat.
He used to have a
What
shower,
was
man.
Probably the scariest thing was his mask. It was white with crooked teeth shaped into a mouth,
Yeah.
slits for eyes, and painted on eyebrows. Beneath the mouth was a red mark, like a bloody streak. I tried to scream, but nothing came out. I was paralyzed with fear. Payments due. What do you mean? Your contract. You ordered a removal, and I delivered. Now it's
So-
time for payment.
What does this mean?
I didn't mean... It doesn't matter what you meant. The contract is binding. and I always collect my payments.
Okay.
No, please, I can't. You made your deal with the devil. Now,
I don't think it was
to pay up.
I don't think it was with the devil.
I finally forced my body to move, turning and running. The man was fast, though, and I could hear his footsteps.
There's no way in hell that top hat would stay on his head. That's a very impressive hat. That or is just squeezing his head. Like literally to the point where it's like when you squeeze a water balloon.
After me, his breathing harsh and ragged. I was running as fast as I could, but it wasn't enough. He tackled me from behind and I hit the ground hard.
Oh no.
The last thing I saw was this white grinning mask as he pressed a cloth over my face.
Oh dear.
I tried to scream, but it was too late. When I awoke, I could see his face leering over me in some sort of basement. He had devices, medical devices, and I was strapped to some sort of table.
Is he gonna like sell his organs?
I tried to scream, but my mouth wouldn't work. All I could do was watch as he approached me with a long, sharp needle before I blacked out again.
Oh.
When I came to, I was back where he'd tackled me. Groaning, I sat up bewildered
so he took
saw
like
several policemen running toward me.
Look at that guy. So he must have took one of his kidneys or something.
What the? I'm okay now. As okay as I can be. Apparently, I'd been missing for several months, and the police found me after receiving an anonymous tip.
What?
I don't know who tipped them off, but I'm just glad to be alive. Well, most of me. I finally understood what type of payment I made. Parts of me are missing. A kidney, my tongue, and something else I don't want to think about.
I don't... What would that be?
Probably for sale on the black market.
Well, there you go, kids. That is why we don't mess with the dark web, okay? But let's just say these aren't true, guys. For the sake of
guys, my name is Edward, and I'm a fan of uncovering the secrets of the deep web.
Okay.
Before you think I'm a psychopath, rest assured, I don't like anything that goes on there. I'm not in favor of kidnapping, arms dealing, or red rooms. Nowadays, I'm a white hat hacker. You know, those hackers experts in computer security who are dedicated to sinking those users who enter the deep web with bad intentions. But before I became a computer expert, before I roamed the deep web hunting for potential hijackers, I was just another user of the
potential hijackers
simplest levels of the deep web. At that time, I also knew a lot about computers.
Okay, so let me get this right. I thought he meant that he just goes in and hacks people. But he means he hacks people who tries to hack other people?
I was naive and didn't understand the risks I was exposing myself to by being there. And that would have its price. Late 2017, everyone was obsessed with the mystery boxes
I mean, it's not how you spell it,
on the deep web. I was one of them. So I logged on to
I wonder you got a weird box.
A site of dubious precedence, left my personal information, paid for the box, and waited patiently for it to arrive. During that time, I was very afraid that it was all a fraud. In the best case scenario, the box would not arrive. That was not what worried me. What scared me was that they would come to kidnap me and my family.
A so-called hacker ordering stuff from the deep web, dark web.
I was
makes no
terrified.
sense.
I should have never shared my information like that.
Yeah.
To my surprise, a few days later, no one kidnapped me. Better yet, the box had arrived. The box was huge, and unlike many...
If you're gonna do that, at least, like, send it to a P.O. box. It'll be a bit hard to explain, though, if there's, like, blood or something leaking out the box.
The others I see on the internet are not decorated. Many people put question marks on them or fill them with spider webs. This was not the case. It was just a huge brown box of poor quality. Today, many people ask me why I didn't film this or upload anything to YouTube.
Yeah.
The answer is simple. I'm not interested in fame.
It's not about fame, it's just evidence, you know, film it for evidence.
I was only interested in opening the box and experiencing what was inside, whether I get ripped off or not. Upon opening it, I must admit I was a little disappointed. In the box
just
were
Halloween.
Fake skulls, bats, knives, and ropes, all items that a kidnapper might have. But at the same time, you know that they're generic things that everyone could buy anywhere.
Yeah.
But in the middle of the things, as if unobtrusively, there was something else. I still don't understand why. The small French blue bell wrapped in a cloth caught my attention. Upon inspecting it, I rang it.
Oh god, you just summoned some kind of demon. What's his name from freaking Dead by Daylight? The Wraith?
It worked perfectly.
Ding dong.
The bell transmitted something strange to me. A very strange feeling of discomfort, as if I
Yeah, you just entered another dimension right here,
shouldn't
dude.
have it in my hands. I was about to wrap it again when on its cloth, I noticed that there was something written. Those of you who have justly acquired the bell, rejoice, for you've just earned his favor and his blessing. The Watcher will come for you, and I will lead you to feel absolute bliss, the strongest emotions, and the most unattainable pleasures.
Oh god. The fuck?
Somewhat
What kind of pedophilic
disturbed
shit
by
is
what I had
this?
just read, I put the bell back where it was and began to put everything in the box. I left the box in the corner of my room and left. Since I was on vacation, I didn't have to go to work. So, with a big smile, I went to make myself something to eat. When I got to the kitchen, I heard a noise coming from the bedroom.
Oh,
and
God.
as soon as I turned around to see if something had fallen, I saw it for the first time. The room that
What
I had
was
just
it?
left was dark. The lights had gone out on their own. But that wasn't all. I strained my eyes because I knew something was there, and when I realized it, I wish I hadn't. 2 white dots were more than 2 feet away. 2 white dots were more than 2 meters above the ground, pointing at me. Were they eyes? No human has eyes like that. When my vision cleared, I began to discover a silhouette.
It is the
thing
Wraith.
staring at me
Run!
was human-shaped. He was standing, dressed all in black with a hood that didn't reveal his face.
Okay.
His whole body was covered by a huge closed jacket. Its body was too thin and tall, but it seemed to be attached. This could look like a human, but it was not.
No.
I thought about turning and running, but I couldn't. My whole body froze with fear. I couldn't move. Little by little, I began to feel sadder and more desperate. I wanted to cry.
Hey, he's gonna fill you with pleasure, whatever that means. Let's just hope it means freaking like sweets and stuff, and not the sinister kind of pleasure.
I wanted to throw myself out of a window. What was happening to me? These feelings were not mine. It was as if something in the look of that being made me feel this way. I gathered all my energy and ran as far as I could, escaping from that horrible encounter. From that day on, I began to experience a living nightmare.
Okay.
That being was not only in my house. He was
your head.
everywhere.
Oh.
Wherever he was, I would suddenly start to feel sad.
It's like an SCP. Like that. What's that SCP? There's 2 of them. There's corner of your eye, which is just always in the corner of your vision, and you can't actually see it. And then there's the mannequin that kind of just follows you around and just like kind of jump scares you wherever you look.
And get depressed. When this happened, I knew that if I looked for a dark place, I would see him there, hiding in the shadows, watching me.
Hey man, he said he's going to give you pleasure. Just let's see what he has to offer. No, actually, no. Don't do that. Let's not do that, actually. Stopping now, starting now.
To make it worse, I was the only person who could see him. I felt like I was going crazy. This went on for several days, and I could never get used to it because it got worse and worse. As he was getting closer and closer, the feelings were getting stronger and stronger. The worst day of all hadn't started so badly. I had fallen asleep that day, which was a great achievement. When I woke up, it was still dark. I was sleeping with all the lights on.
Sleep paralysis.
At the moment, I looked up, surprised that they were all off. I knew something bad was about to happen. I tried to move my body to get out of my
What is this thing, like an energy vampire?
bed, but something was wrong. My body was not reacting. Something strange was happening again. Suddenly, I could only look ahead to where my closet was, and to my absolute terror, it started to open.
It literally is the
creepy
Wraith.
figure inside. Who are you? Why are you doing this to me? What do you want? With no answer, the eye staring at me from inside the closet began to move forward. Wriggling out of the closet, I could see him for the first time.
Bro, what is your room? Is this your bedroom? Or you're on a sofa?
His body was gray and full of bandages. His mouth was small, barely visible, and the rest of his body was filled with wounds and craters. Before I could see him any further, he threw himself at me at an inhuman speed, walking at high velocity and contorting his body with every step he took.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god. What was that?
Just the Wraith, mate.
It felt so real. Still nervous, still trembling with fear. I saw it in the distance. The lights were still all off.
Just invisible.
Like my dream. But that being was in the distance, watching me. At that moment, I turned all my hatred, all my anger into energy and charged towards it.
Yeah,
Maybe
get
I
it,
could
boy!
push him away. Maybe I could fight him.
Fight him!
Perhaps he would kill me, and all this torture would end at that moment.
Yeah, well, there you
But
go.
nothing happened.
He set you free. Think about it. He set you free of your emotions. You no longer care if you die, right? When you get to that point where you don't care if you die, you become one of two things. Very, like, dangerous, or you become free of yourself. You know what I mean?
When I got to where
Let's see what he becomes.
There was absolutely nothing. It can't be. He was just here. At what point did I lose sight of him? And that was my last attempt to fight it. That day, at that moment,
He shit
I
himself.
knew I couldn't do anything against him. But also, I saw something else. The bell.
Destroy the
Just
bell.
in case, I had thrown away the box and all its contents a few days before. I was suspicious of that bell, so I made sure it was in there. While looking for the being in the darkness, I had seen it on the floor, in the same place where this being was standing a few seconds before.
It's the Wraith's
That day,
bell.
I understood everything. I would not be able to get rid of it. I would not be able to throw it away or destroy it. Someone else had to take it over. Someone else would have to acquire it fair and square.
Oh dear.
The same way I got it. I sold it to another unsuspecting person on the deep web.
God.
Surely it had reached another curious man like me, who will send it to someone else, or I don't want to think about what this being will do to him, because he would have done it to me too.
I feel like
From that day-
the being just thrives off of like negative energy, maybe, or fear.
But my interest in the deep web did not go away, but it intensified.
What?
I never tried to find out anything about that bell. I felt that if I looked for it, I would attract that being again. What I did look for were ways to protect people from these traps. I ended up becoming an expert in computer security in
Of course you did.
these 5 arduous years, and today, I dedicate myself to patrolling the deep web.
I mean, it could be true.
Hacking those who are doing something bad, but scaring the unwary kids who don't know what they're doing. They're afraid of me, but I know I'm protecting them from themselves.
Right. I mean, that's one way of saying it, I guess. Toy Story conspiracy stories. Toy Story conspiracy stories. Jesus, say that 3 times fast. Well, there we go, guys. That was 3 true dark web stories animated. That was pretty entertaining, to be fair. I mean, the moral of this video, guys, is don't use the dark web. Just don't use it. Don't use the deep web. Don't use the dark web. Stay away from it, you know. Stay curious. So there we go, guys. Be sure to go subscribe to IMR Scary Tales. Like the video, all that good stuff. If you enjoyed my reaction, why not leave a like, rate, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care, guys. Oh, no, please.